The Office of the Parliament celebrates International Women's Day 2023. DigitALL, Innovation and Technology for Gender Equality. A vivid imagination, a steady hand, and a singular dream saw this woman fulfill her heart's desire. When did you recognize your love for animation?
That goes way back as a child, right? Because my father was a teacher, and he'd come home every day with chalk in his pockets, and I would just go straight there, take that chalk and draw on everything that I saw that, was a drawing surface. And when I actually went to the university in London, I had a choice at that time to do either film, animation, script writing, and something else. And I chose animation for the first time because, as you would know, there weren't anything there in Trinidad and Tobago to teach you about animation. So I took that up, and that was it. That's my calling.
Explain what is animation and multimedia production.
Animation is a beautiful tool whereby still images come to life. So what happens is that you draw movement. You draw movement, which if you look at the still images, it just looks like a still drawing. But when you put them together, they start to move, they look. So really and truly, it's an illusion. However, now, modern day animation, you also have 3D technology, you have modern, ways of creating. With AI now, you could actually just speak and it comes alive, right? So it really has varied over time, but it really is a beautiful way that we make art move. Multimedia is everything, right? It's a mixture of everything. Now, what is happening with animation now is that you're finding that it's in everything. So even film, a lot of the scenes that you're seeing of this beautiful city is not really existing. It's a 3D model that they created and put using green screen, as you see around here, using green screen and put the actors in it. So the multimedia aspect of things are all of those things: VFX, green screen technology, 3D animation, even VR, virtual reality, and augmented reality. So that's what multimedia is. It's sort of exponential. And that is important because things are changing quickly, right? It's really, really moving quickly technologically.
What were some of the challenges you had during your career?
When I first went to London to study, I was like one of the few women in this area, right? Because it is a male-dominated industry, for sure, right? And so I would be in rooms with animators, and I'm the only female, and the only Caribbean female with this funny voice, right? And, but it was a challenge, but it also pushed me to really kind of express myself authentically. When I did my final film, I used a Trinidadian voice in it, and I said, listen, I'm gonna be me. And it actually went on and won the Royal Television Society Award in London, so it was a good experience. So it's come with good and bad. It came with things that really challenged me, but every single situation I learned from, and I learned to be authentic in telling our stories. That was the main thing, because what we don't want to do is regurgitate other people's stories. So all the films that I've done, even when I work with my students, it is about expressing themselves in animation.
What were some of the highlights or successes that stood out for you?
I've been doing this for 20 years, and a lot of people are not aware of the backstory, I've won several awards. I won the Film TT Award for, doing great work in animation. I won the Commonwealth. Well, I placed in the Commonwealth Foundation Woman of the Year Award. I was selected to go speak on behalf of the IDB in their general meeting. There's been a lot of awards, but for me personally, the highlight is seeing my students graduate. That really, I know it sounds cheesy, but it is. 20 years of doing the work and seeing, over 350 students graduating with diplomas, and recently with a BFA in Digital Media Arts. And one of my biggest highlight of my career is the ability to open the Tap Factory, which is IDB funded, grant funded studio where we put our students to work. And as you went through the studio downstairs, there's about 30 young graduates of the university program doing art and being paid for it. And to me, that is a big highlight, you know.
Is more encouragement and outreach needed to guide girls towards this industry?
I think more encouragement is needed to get girls in the picture. Now, I have worked closely with Microsoft girls and ICT girls, and several times been to, you know, many different countries, Caribbean countries, and being a voice for digital media, animation, and women in that field. So I have done my work to make sure that they didn't go through what I went through, which is not having women in your spaces. And what you find now is that our studio downstairs, we have 50-50, 50% women, 50% men, and that's what it should be, right? It shouldn't be, you know, 75% men, 75% women. It should be balanced. So I think I have created equity there because of my presence. I think, you know, just me being there, me being speaking about it, me being a beacon for young girls, and I will continue to do that.
How do you think the rights of women and girls can be protected in digital spaces?
I think opportunities need to be created to give young women and women on a whole the opportunity to exist in those spaces. And what was happening before I was even in this space is that there weren't platforms for us, right? And even in the learning, we weren't encouraged to learn technology. You know, we were pushed in different directions. And now I'm seeing more and more parents kind of opening up and allowing their girls to do whatever they want. And I have seen where in our program at the university, where when girls and women are given the opportunity to be in this field, they excel. They really, really excel. So I do feel it is more about giving young women a platform to exist and coexist in those kind of spaces when with their peers.
Do you think it is important to celebrate International Women's Day annually?
I think it's so important to really celebrate that, because I know what I went through. As I said, you know, 20 years ago, I'm in a room, the only female, the only funny voice person, and I knew how, you know, how I felt. I had to really dig deep to get that feeling that I'm good enough. And we do need to give young women the opportunity to see that they are good enough, and to see people like myself being able to take on those challenges and succeed. However, I have to say I do know that it should also be balanced out, because, you know, obviously you would have a point where women are excelling, and then what happens to the men? So really for me, it is about creating equity more so than equality. It's so important because they need to coexist.
The Office of the Parliament celebrates International Women's Day 2023. DigitALL, innovation and technology for gender equality.